YouTube stars have become influential and important members of our society, in much the same way that traditional celebrities have always been. But by this same token, their actions are far more open to criticism than most others. This has led to some YouTubers going down as controversial content creators. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at the most infamous of the lot. First up, we have Logan Paul. I know, easy answer. But is it really possible to make this list and not mention the elder member of the Paul brothers? Though many feel that Logan in particular has taken great strides in maturing as both a content creator and a person in recent years, the fact remains that both he has proved himself to be a highly controversial figure on multiple occasions. And for the most obvious example of Logan's controversy, we need to look no further than the vlog he filmed in Aokigahara, or as you probably know it, the Japanese suicide forest. On the final day of December 17th, Logan uploaded a vlog to his channel showing himself traipsing through the forest, which has become notorious as a popular location for suicides in Japan, and even coming across the still hanging corpse of a man who had recently taken his life. Paul filmed the body and, all in all, reacted in a horrifically distasteful and disrespectful manner, something that had been a running theme within his Tokyo Adventures videos as a whole. The video was watched by over 6.3 million people in just 24 hours, with a torrent of negative feedback hitting Paul, consisting of widespread condemnation of the way he and his friends conducted themselves and interacted with the body. A petition was made asking YouTube to delete Logan's videos, reaching 500,000 supporters, and very quickly, Logan deleted the video in an attempt to limit the backlash. In the aftermath, YouTube condemned Logan's actions and pulled him from a variety of projects, such as an upcoming YouTube movie, though didn't quite go as far as to delete his channel entirely. Logan put up a public apology and donated $1 million to various suicide prevention charities. This is by far the most egregious of Logan's controversies, but sadly, it is not the only time he's found himself making headlines for the wrong reasons, such as receiving criticism for a homophobic joke made in 2019, tasering dead rats, removing a fish from a pond in an act of pointless animal cruelty, and making a controversial joke about the infamous Tide Pods challenge. Next up, we have Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson really is one of the most confusing names on this list, not in the sense that anyone should be confused to know that he is controversial, no, but it is utterly baffling how he has managed to make so many repeated mistakes throughout his years as a YouTuber. Starting his channel back in 2008, at the age of just 19, Dawson became one of the most popular entertainers in the platform, garnering over 500 million views by 2010, in what was a rather remarkable and incredibly quick rise to the top. The vast majority of his early work consisted of sketch comedies loaded with pop culture references and absurdist humor, before eventually his style began to evolve into long-form mini documentary videos around significant events, such as the TanaCon convention or infamous celebrities like Jeffree Star. These videos earned a very positive reception from fans and even resulted in Shane's channel receiving media attention from more traditional news platforms. But for all of this success, many remembered Shane's past. The comedy sketches we mentioned earlier were primarily built upon shocking, offensive humor, and as Shane became embroiled in a controversy involving the YouTube beauty community, all of his past transgressions were dragged back to the surface. Dawson made repeated use of racist humor throughout the formative years of his channel, employing blackface and repeatedly using the N-word as a form of comedy. There was also controversy surrounding a comment he made with regards to pedophilia in 2013, as well as a claim from 2015 that he had engaged in sexual activity with his cat. I'm not joking. Dawson's attempt at damage control didn't work fantastically well, as his apologies were only met by further condemnation and the reveal of further controversial comments, such as when Jaden Smith accused Dawson of sexualizing his sister Willow, who was only 11 at the time of the incident, with the utter mountain of awful things piling up. Dawson lost his book deals with Target and eventually found all three of his channels indefinitely suspended for monetization by YouTube. Next on the list is Sam Pepper. Some will recognize Sam Pepper more as a TikToker star now, with the Brit having shifted to the platform back in 2019 and amassing a following of over 4.2 million fans. His content for the moment primarily consists of challenge videos, life hacks, and stunts. And if you had only started paying attention to Pepper in the last few years, you probably wouldn't have suspected that he'd have gotten up to anything particularly diabolical. That's where you would be wrong, however, as Pepper has a long and controversial history as a YouTuber, with his main channel having amassed over 2 million subscribers at its peak. Though he has since abandoned the channel with the last video coming out 4 years ago, what was Pepper's content like back in the day? Well, it primarily consisted of pranks, and sadly you aren't reading the script here, so allow me to clarify that the word pranks is in quotation marks, because these pranks were little more than loose justifications to harass and abuse random members of the public. On the occasions that they weren't scripted, of course, which a great deal of them were anyways, the first big controversy to hit Pepper came in the wake of his fake hand ass pinch prank video, where Pepper would approach random women on the street, ask for directions, and then pinch their butts. In what will come as zero shock to any of you, people weren't so keen on this sexual assault aspect of the pranking here, with many women coming out and claiming to have been assaulted by Pepper. Sam answered his critics by publishing a video where he hired women to sexually assault men instead. Awesome. Baffling, this did nothing to stop the criticism, with noted feminist YouTuber JC Green penning an open letter calling for Pepper to stop his actions. Pepper became subject to even more controversy in 2015 when he and his friend Colby Brock pranked their mutual friend Sam Goldbach by convincing him that he had witnessed his best friend be murdered before his eyes. The quote-unquote joke consisted of a masked Pepper kidnapping Brock and Goldbach, driving them to a rooftop, and then pretend shooting Brock while a terrified Goldbach watched on. The public response was predictably extremely negative, so much so that Pepper gave up his channel premise completely and switched to vlogging. For what it's worth, it seems that this new style of content has at least kept him out of trouble. Now we have James Charles. Few figures on YouTube have been quite as polarizing as James Charles, with perceptions around him very much being split between those who despise and those who stoutly support him. The American beauty guru has been credited by many with helping to bring about a revolution within the world of makeup and beauty, broadening its appeal to men and encouraging those who previously have shown the industry no interest to at least give it a look. He has a line of his own cosmetics and has been awarded with various honors throughout his time as a YouTuber and social influencer, including 2 People's Choice Awards, 3 Streamy Awards, and a Teen's Choice Award. He was also the first ever male brand ambassador for the CoverGirl company. For all of these positives, however, Charles has found himself embroiled in controversy on multiple occasions. Some criticize him for potentially reinforcing harmful beauty standards by making extensive use of image editing software in some of his pictures, a problem that is absolutely rife in the beauty industry and stands out as particularly disappointing considering the type of content Charles focuses on. Things only grew worse in 2019, however, when a much publicized feud with fellow beauty vlogger Toddy Westbrook exploded with allegations that Charles was disloyal and had attempted to seduce heterosexual men despite being repeatedly told that there was no interest. You know, because they're straight. These accusations were corroborated by other members of the community, including Jeffree Star and singer Zara Larsson, and quickly led to Charles absolutely hemorrhaging subscribers. So great was the backlash against Charles that he became the first YouTuber to lose 1 million subs in 24 hours. Yay? Somehow things even got worse, as in 2021 a 16-year-old boy named Isaiah put out a TikTok video accusing Charles of grooming him, sending him explicit images and pressuring the boy to engage in sexting despite knowing his age. This resulted in more underage boys coming forward with accusations of their own, with Charles eventually responding by claiming that he had sent images to 2 underage boys, but that at the time he had only believed that both were 18. This defense was not enough to convince YouTube, who promptly demonized Charles's channel. And that's everyone. Are there any other controversial YouTubers you can think of? Let us know down in the comments, and until next time, we'll see you soon.